Welcome to our coffee chat. It is Thursday. Grab your beverage. It doesn't have to be coffee. It can be something stronger. It can be something weaker. It can be water. But grab a beverage, sit down, and let's chat about life. There's so many things I wanted to talk to you about today. So many different things that are happening. So when you come on, please say hello. I'm always glad to see you. And I see you. I do see you. And I appreciate you taking the time because that is something that is finite. So I am grateful that you're taking your time to share it with me today. And whether you see me during your morning or whether it's your evening, whatever time zone you're in, I hope that your Thursday is or has been thrilling. All right. So there's a couple of different things I wanted to share with you today. The first thing is I was in a conversation with some friends about electric cars. So I am curious about your stance on electric cars. Excuse me. Do you feel that electric cars are bad for the environment? That was the argument or the discussion that we were having. Do you feel that electric cars are bad for the environment? Please weigh in and let me know what you think in a comment below. Are electric cars bad for the environment? I'm just curious more than anything else. Not whether you support, you drive, but do you actually think, because there's many people that drive gas guzzling trucks that think that it's terrible for the environment, but they own one and they love it. So I'm not asking you if you love it or you own one. I'm asking you if you think that electric cars are bad for the environment. Just a question, just a curious question, because it was a topic of conversation today. And I'm curious to see what others think about electric cars. Speaking of electric cars, have you ever been to a city that has, I think they're called Waymo or Whammo? They're electric cars with no driver. Have you seen these? When I was in LA, they have them in a lot of places and they've got the sensors all over. Have you seen them? Have you ridden in one? I didn't ride in one, but I want to do that next time. Next time I go out to LA, I want to ride in one. And do you think those are cool or do you think that those are freaky, frightening, scary? Cool or scary? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Yeah, I'm just curious. With the way that technology is going and so many things that are happening and changing, are you a fan of what's happening? Or are you not a fan? A thumbs up or a thumbs down? For me, the electric vehicles, if they, the non-driver electric vehicles, right? The ones that don't have anybody driving the car, they're freaky. It's weird. And I've seen them and I've watched them. And it's very, very unfamiliar, right? It's not something that we see all the time. It's definitely not happening where I live. There's none of them here, but there are a lot of them out in LA. And my thoughts, I'm wondering what your thoughts are, but I'll share with you what mine are. My thoughts are, first of all, wow, how cool is that? The second thought is, how's that gonna work? Is that gonna be even more dangerous? How do they know? How do they stop for people or a baby or not an understanding, right? When I don't understand something, the first emotion is fear. Like, no, thank you. I don't get how that works. Whether that's with that or with Bitcoin, I don't understand how it works. And unless I invest myself in it, sometimes the first reaction is no thank you. So I'm curious, what is your stance on these driverless cars, these Waymo, and I know that Tesla is working on theirs. I think the concept, if they can get it to work, that's the big caveat. If they can get it to work, I think it would be amazeballs. Why do you think it would be amazeballs? Why do I think it would be amazeballs? I think it would be amazeballs because so many people are distracted by their phone. They're either texting or they're looking at maps or they're programming where the police are. And you know who you are that do that, right? To do the Waze app and there's a something on the side of the road. Well, that's distracting us from actually driving. And so I feel like it would be safer if we had a computer driving so that we could be on the phone and not be an accident waiting to happen, right? There's so many accidents caused by the glance down on the phone that ends up to be not a glance, but a stare. And that's not even counting the people that unfortunately get behind the wheel that are intoxicated or high. And now in the States, there are more and more people or more states that allow for, okay, you're going to call me out. I don't know what they call it these days, whether it's weed, pot, marijuana, whatever you want to call it. Their instincts and reaction time and all of that is not as fast, and they get behind a wheel. And that would prevent a lot of accidents as far as I'm concerned. If the technology works, which is a big if, right? If and when the technology works, it would be great. But one of the comments that I got when we were having this conversation was as far as like taxis go, not having a driver there removes the social interaction, removes the interaction and not just the interaction, but the having people right there. And I know a lot of people get in a taxi and all they say is where they're going and they get back on their phones. Me and one of my friends, we don't typically do that. I typically, most of the time, depends on the driver, but most of the time engage the driver in conversation. And I've had some fascinating conversations with Uber drivers, taxi drivers, fascinating. I've met some incredibly interesting people that drive cars, and you wouldn't have that if there was no driver, right? So there's a pro and a con. There's a pro and a con. And not everybody interacts with drivers of taxis and Ubers and Lyfts and all of the other companies that drive you around. So just curious, what are your thoughts on these driverless cars? I think that they're interesting. I'm curious. I'm curious to see how this pans out and how long it takes to perfect it. And I don't know that they will ever be perfect, which is different than perfect it, right? Get it to the point where they're not running people down in crosswalks, but actually avoiding them, right? It might actually be safer in a lot of regards for a lot of the people that are in cars and driving, to have cars like this on the road. Might be, might not. I don't know. I guess time will tell. But I think that it's going to be interesting to see how it unfolds. I know that there was probably resistance to a lot of the things that we now have, whether that's electricity instead of candles, or whether that's the refrigeration. I don't know, things that, we're not privy to it because it was already here in mass quantities when we were born. But it didn't, at one point it didn't exist. And so when it didn't exist and then it did, I'm sure there was a lot of resistance to it. And I'm sure that there's resistance to change that is on the horizon here. But I'm just curious. I'm curious on your thoughts on both electric cars and driverless cars. Yeah, I am. Thanks for telling me. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. I don't know where I see comments. I wish I could figure out if you're somebody who knows how these lives work, I should really Google and figure out how to do these lives a little bit better. Because, let's see, has it up with gifts and I don't know. Some things flash on the screen so fast I can't even read them. So anyway, thank you for sharing your thoughts in a comment below on those things. Let's see. Lewis. AI has it. Gifts is... It went so fast. How do I stop it? How do I slow down the comments? Thank you, guys. Oh, my goodness. I'll come back and read all the comments since I'm not able to read them fast enough. Lewis, thank you for that comment. And thank you for spending time with me. Something else I wanted to share with you that I thought was really interesting lately is, each of us is on our own journey, right? And on our own journey, we're constantly changing. Okay. My mother told me when I was a kid, and I have been told this so much that it is a thought that I have adopted and ingrained in me to become a belief. 2018 has it up, all gifts in their gift gallery. I don't know what all that means. Okay, she instilled in me that every day we learn something new. And the day that we stop learning is the day that we die. The day that we stop changing is the day that we die. And I thought this was literal when I was a kid. Like, literally, if you don't learn something new every day, how frightening is that? It's a hell of a way to keep you in school, right? But I've learned that what she meant was that we continue to learn and grow as a human until the day we die. And as such, whether it's changing our thoughts, I've changed a lot of my thoughts because I've become aware of what they are. And by changing my thoughts, my beliefs have changed. And because of what I believe changes, my life has changed. And recently, something that I have been really working hard for, I've actually noticed. And can I share with you? It makes me uncomfortable. Have you ever wanted something really, really bad, and then when you get it, you're like, I don't know how to deal with this. Whether it's I want somebody in my life that loves me, right? And then you get somebody in your life that loves you, and you're like, I'm so not used to this. I'm not used to people being nice to me and really caring about me. This is weird. I want this, and I'm embracing this. But this is not something that I normally have, and this feels unfamiliar and therefore uncomfortable. Maybe it's I want to have enough money that I can go on vacation and not put it on credit. And all of a sudden, one day, you are in a position where you've saved enough money and can take a vacation and not put it on credit. And it's a great feeling. Don't get me wrong. It's a great feeling, but it's so unfamiliar. It's so uncommon in my life that I'm not really sure how to act or how to be in that new phase of my life. Is this making sense? Say yes if it's making sense. So I have really wanted to and need to badly decrease my stress level. Like, seriously decrease my stress level. My cortisol levels are too high. I walk around like a stress ball, waiting to snap. Anybody else walking around stressed? Are you walking around stressed? And it doesn't even matter what it is. It could be good stress or bad stress. You know, I'm going on a trip to France. That's good stress. But I'm thinking, oh my gosh, do I have the clothes I need? How am I getting there? Is my transportation all set up? What am I doing when I get there? You know, all the things. And what stuff am I going to need? Oh, I'm going to need a converter for my hair dryer and stuff, you know, stuff. I'm going to need stuff. And do I have that? And I would, good stress, but I would stress myself about that. And my health has really taken a toll because of all the stress that I constantly put myself under, whether it's good stress or not good stress, right? And I noticed recently, the last couple of days, that I'm walking through life in a way that I haven't before. I'm walking through life and things are not stressing me out like they used to. I'll give you an example. I came home from LA and I had a litany, a laundry list of things that I needed to get done. I should get done. I want to get done. And I decided, I shared this with you, I decided instead to go with my husband to a barbecue and not do all of those things. The next day I woke up and I really needed a slow day, like a slow moving morning. And I decided not to go to a networking function. Now, there was part of me that was FOMO, right? Who am I missing out on? But it didn't make me spiral. Like beat myself up. Like, what are you doing? Why are you not doing that? You know you should do that. You should be there. You really need sponsors. You really need to spread the word about your women's empowerment experience and get more people to know about it so that they can take advantage of it. Why are you not going? Are you procrastinating? Stop making excuses. Yes? Like, that was usually the record, the narrative that was going on in my head. But this time I said, I really need a slower day. I've got too much on my plate. It's starting to elevate my anxiety. I'm not going to do this. If there's someone there that I was meant to see, they will come into my life in another way. It's going to be okay. I'm sorry, what? What? And not only did I say this to myself, but I believed it. I believed it. And my stress and my anxiety and my fear all started to decrease. Now, I could hear them in my head, but they were way quieter. They weren't screaming like they normally were. And then I told myself I wanted to reach out to 3 sponsors that I thought would be in alignment and really benefit from sponsoring the event. That their business, getting their business in front of the people who attend this event and promoting them to the people who attend the event would be a huge benefit to their business. And I reached out to 1. That's all I had time for, was 1. Normally I would beat myself up. I would stay up until 10, 11 o'clock if I had to. If my day was really booked, one thing after another, and I needed to eat, and I needed to deal with the dog, and I needed to spend time with my husband, I would sneak in here and shoot off emails to at least 2 more people before I went to bed. And I didn't. And I was okay. And so I don't know how to operate in this space. I don't know how to be not stressed. I don't know how to, I'm almost listening. I'm almost listening for that narrative to come on. Like, are you beating me up? Like, are you yelling at me for procrastinating? Like, are you making me feel bad for not doing it? Like, why do I not feel that energy rising, that chaos, that frenzy, that I just feel, I guess this is what people feel like when they walk through life not stressed. Maybe people, and this is no judgment, because I'm a judgment-free zone. This is not a judgment. But maybe this is what people feel like when they take a Valium. Or maybe this is what people feel like when they're high. When like, everything is just roses. Everything's going to be fine. Everything's going to work out. And really believe it. But I don't know how to operate in that space. Because in my 60 years, I've never been like that. Ever. Now, did I want that? Absolutely, I wanted that. Have I worked hard to get to that point? Sure, I have. But now that I'm experiencing them, I'm like, where's the manual on this one? Because I feel out of sorts. I feel like in a strange land that I don't know how to operate in. And does that mean I'm going to go back to being stressed out? No. But it's an awareness, it's an observation that my changes that I have been working towards and implementing slowly have now culminated. And it's not going to be perfect, and I'm not going to not be stressed. But when somebody canceled or rescheduled, I had an 11 o'clock appointment. And I found out about an hour ago that she needed to reschedule. And how would you react? How do you react when your schedule changes, right? When it isn't like you thought it was going to be when you went to sleep the night before, or even when you got up. That, just like us, life changes. Whether our car doesn't work, or our meeting cancels, or our dog gets sick, or things that we just didn't plan for happen and change our schedule, change our agenda, change our day. Or maybe you meet somebody and they totally and completely change the way you look at things, which I'm hoping that I do sometimes help you to change the way you look at things. Because when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. And so, how do you react? How do you react when your day goes differently than you had anticipated? Do you get riled up? Do you get stressed out? Do you get frenzied? In this case, I really wanted to talk to this lady. I really did. I'm sad, but I'll talk to her next week. And today that frees up like 3 hours. So now some of the things that I told myself, you're going to need to do on Saturday, I'm going to get to do now. I'm going to catch up on all my emails that are sitting in my email box since last Wednesday or Thursday. I'm going to reach out to sponsors for the event that showed interest and follow up with them, or reach out to others that I think are in alignment. I am going to brainstorm on evening activities. Here's a great question. So, for those of you who don't know, I am the founder of the Women's Empowerment Experience. This isn't a pitch. This is something that I need your input on. So this isn't a please buy. Although if you want to buy, that's fine. It is a 2-day transformational event for women where women come together and are empowered with their money, with their health, with the relationships, with career, business, and their mindset. And it's a place to foster hopes and dreams that so often women have a tendency to put their dream on a shelf in order to serve others, whether that's children, spouses, businesses, whether it's our own business or somebody that we work for, communities, religious affiliations. We pour out into others. And the last one, and we never seem to get to, is ourselves. And I give women permission to come together and spend some time on themselves and to make some new friends, because as we get older and our children leave, and many of us, me included, battle and struggle through empty nest, and struggle through menopause, and struggle through the thought of retirement, and what is life going to be like after my identity has been tied up in a title, a position, a role, a company for decades. How do I exist in a new space, right? And I give women an opportunity to come together and experience all that while implementing a roadmap to follow for themselves to get to where they want to be moving forward. We have so much fun. It is not a conference or a workshop or a summit or a retreat. It is truly an immersive, interactive, implementative experience. So it's 2 days. Now, last year when I did this, a lot of the women said they really wished that I had an overnight option, because they were having so much fun that they didn't want to go home. They didn't want it to end at 4:30 when the event ended on Saturday. And so I heard that. So I am planning an optional after dark. And as I say this, all sorts of ideas are coming to me. It will include dinner and activities. I'm not going to tell you what activities. I will tell you that they will be interactive, they will be fun, they will be transformative, they will be memorable. But I'm not going to give you specifics because it's good to be surprised a little bit, I think. And I'm curious, what would you pay for dinner and activities as an add-on to an event? Now, many of you may ask me, Amy, what's the cost of the event? Because it's probably a percentage of the event or something like that. Maybe that's how you would do it, okay? So I'm going to tell you, the event 2 days is $397 for general admission and $597 for VIP. And VIP gets so many gifts from all the presenters that's going to outweigh the $597 that you pay. And the early bird special is $100 off. So it's $297 and $497 for the 2 days. It includes lunch, it includes coffee, it includes beverages, it includes all the interactions, and it includes a ton. So in between, in the evening, when it ends at like 4:30, what would you pay for an optional add-on? Now, the add-on does not include hotel, because there are some people that live in the area and they would like to go home and sleep in their own bed. So I don't want to have it include the hotel. If you want to include the hotel, that would be on you, right? That would be an extra additional expense. But just for the dinner and the activities from like 6 to 9, 6 to 10, so 3-4 hours, what would you expect to pay? What would you expect to pay? Let me know in a comment below. I'm super curious, super curious. Thank you for your input. Thank you for your feedback. So I'm working on that. Today a little bit. I'm also doing a 4-part Brown Bag Lunch and Learn series, which are like mini empowerments for an hour and a half, focused around sleep, because so many people have problems and difficulty sleeping. Money, because many people have money stuff. Time, ditching the overwhelm, getting more done in less time so you have time to go to the beach during the summer, and healthy eating on the go. So there are 4 topics, hour and a half. In that hour and a half, we have connection, we have implementation, we have interaction, we have fun, and we have information. So, and it's super cheap. Super cheap. So if you're in the Northern Virginia area, put Northern Virginia below. I will, let you know. Watch my TikToks throughout when we finally open registration for the Brown Bag Lunch and Learn series. It is not going to be virtual. I'm sorry, it's just not. None of my events are virtual. They're all in person. People need to make the commitment to do things in person. Get out of your comfort zone. Make the time. You're worth it. You are worth it, and come to one of my events. They're just mind-blowing. They're just mind-blowing. That's all I'm going to tell you. The Brown Bag Lunch and Learn. It's $30 and you can bring a friend for free. I mean, it doesn't get much cheaper than that, right? $30 and bring a friend for free. So when those open, probably in the next 2 weeks, I'll let you know. So those are some of the things that I'm working on today. What are you working on today? What are you hoping to get done? Are you working on something personal? Are you working on something for your business? Or maybe you're working, and I do this because we're always working, whether it's on a house project, on training the dog, on teaching the kids something, on working on my business, or working in a business, or maybe you're just working on yourself. Maybe you're figuring out a meal plan today. Maybe you're figuring out your finances. Maybe you're figuring out, how can I communicate better? Whatever you're working on today, I hope that it is a thrilling Thursday for you. I am super thankful that you spent your time with me, and I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, my friend. Make it a great one.